Hey folks, eat lunch with me and let's talk about what's going on at Harvard and why it's by way of context. I'm an English professor here at a regional public university in Western Kentucky, and today I'm eating tuna with rice-a-roni. The real ones get me. If you're out there like, that's disgusting, I don't know what to tell you, except you're wrong, and I'm sorry that you've never experienced a day of happiness in your life. Also, for the record, I'm speaking not on behalf of my university, but as an individual. Got to make that clear. So, what's up with Harvard? Here's the basic story. The Trump administration is threatening to strip Harvard of federal funding and revoke the visas of its international students. And why? Because they think the university isn't doing enough to crack down on pro Palestinian speech and protest. They're using that flimsy justification as pretense because they want control over Harvard, its curriculum, its student body, and its free speech more generally. In other words, bye bye to academic freedom. Maybe you're wondering, like, hey, you teach English at a small university in Western Kentucky. Why are you worried about what's going on at the Ivy League? But this isn't about just one elite university. This is part of a coordinated effort to police what can be said, taught, and even thought in American classrooms nationwide. What's going on at Harvard is very much a pilot program for the administration to take full control over the universities, which is a road into fascism. But it's not new. I mean, we've been witnessing attacks on critical race theory, diversity programs, even entire courses. And why? Well, because universities are an enormously important pillar in a democratic society and a bastion of free speech. So go universities, so go American society. And it's true, universities tend to be more left leaning, which is a byproduct not of indoctrination, but of the sorts of individuals who are drawn into the academy, individuals who have an innate interest in critiquing traditional ways of thinking. So the Trump administration wants to take control over these universities to sort of magify the curriculum for the sake of political homogeneity. A couple months ago, we saw Columbia University capitulate to the administration's demands. But, and I mean no shade to Columbia, I'd venture to guess that what happened with Columbia was the appetizer and Harvard was always going to be the main course. And here's why. Columbia University was the administration testing their plan. And when that worked, they took it to Harvard, thinking that if Harvard capitulates, then they could easily start rolling out sweeping changes across universities nationwide because Harvard is easily the most powerful university in terms of wealth and also political power. But Harvard is fighting back in the courts, effectively carrying the torch for every American university. As a side note, it's kind of amazing to me that right now academics across the country are rallying around Harvard. This may be surprising, but it's definitely not like we all fawn over Harvard. Yeah, they're a stellar university with an absurdly talented faculty, but they're also stupidly rich, and the administration over there tends to be kind of conservative with their thinking and their action. Honestly, I'm amazed they're pushing back the way they are, but very happy about it. Good on them. I mean, they can afford it. As someone who teaches writing and literature, I talk with students about power, justice, history, and identity, and the kinds of conversations that can be uncomfortable like those are absolutely essential in a functioning democracy. That's what education is. So what's happening here is a warning. If the government can financially punish a school like Harvard for what students say or believe, what happens to the small public universities? What happens to community colleges? What happens when it's not Harvard next time, but us? We should all be concerned about this, faculty, students, families, because once you let political actors decide what ideas are acceptable in a classroom, you don't have education anymore, you have indoctrination. And of course, MAGA would say that what we do is indoctrination, but there's a big difference between teaching students how to think and telling them what to think. Because when we ask students to read Baldwin or Morrison or to question empire or capitalism or colonialism, we're not handing them answers. We're handing them tools to analyze, to interpret, to disagree, even with us. And that's really the heart of education: struggle, complexity, dissent. Indoctrination is when you shut all that down, and that's exactly what these political threats are trying to do. And if you're watching this and thinking it's just Harvard, remember they start with the Ivy League so no one else will or can fight back, but it ends with all of us. Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially if you're seeing this kind of pressure on your campus, and also buy my book. It has nothing to do with any of this, but sometimes that's what we need, huh?